Today I'm joined with Captain Brett McCaffrey. Miami Heat in the conference finals. 3, 1, 2, 3. All right. Senior night, and I'm here with the lacrosse team. Now, boys, we're facing...
Yeah, I'm ready, bro. Let's go. I don't think you're golfing in that, right? What's wrong with this?
You know what we do, baby. Ohio ain't nothing.
First, I'm not even golfing because I'm going to stick to the interviews.
What's in Ohio? Nothing's in Ohio. They don't got a beach.
How much for a buzz? Yeah, I'm doing this for free right now. It's free marketing. No one is.
My team being so supportive.
Well, the first...
What's your truth for the interview real quick?
Hey, welcome to the Sir Truth. Like instead of that.
Well, that might be a good way to start.
Funny you say that, Coach Steve, because that's actually how we're going to start today. My name is Max Sertus with the Sir Truth. Today, I am honored to be joined by my co-host, Coach Marty O'Brien, and Feehan legend and Feehan football icon, Coach Steve Germaine. Coach, how's it going today?
Max, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Coach. Now, a lot of people, if you don't know, which you probably don't because a lot of people don't know Coach Steve, he's the offensive coordinator here at Feehan. He has a little Feehan history. You know, he's a Feehan alum, and last year you were the director of the passing game. Stuff we're all going to break down today, but I wanted to talk to you, Coach Steve, because you know you're a really charismatic guy. I know you're really full of emotion, full
debatable,
of enthusiasm.
but
yeah. But thank you for coming on today, Coach. So how are you? How are you doing today?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So like I said in the intro, I want to talk about a lot of stuff, Coach Steve, you know, because you're just an all-around gem. But I want to talk on my talking points here. I have a lot. You know, I know you're a man of many interests, many talents. But we're going to talk about the Feehan football season mostly this episode because my last two guests, I had Shane Evans and Sean Judge.
Yeah, who was that other one for Shane? I didn't...
Sean Judge?
Did he play here?
Sean Judge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's Clemson commit, Sean Judge.
I wouldn't know. He didn't, mention thank anyone.
Oh, his coach?
Yeah, nothing. No thank yous. Nothing. Never heard of him.
Well, I heard he was.
He knows I love him. That's fine.
Okay. There you go.
Oh, a little inside joke.
But signed out. So Coach, I want to talk to you today about the previous Feehan football season. And again, I had Shane and Sean on last time. Both, very great defensive players, but I know you kind of roll with offense as you are offensive coordinator. But before, because I'm looking at my talking points right here, just to kind of get you going, I had a question come in. On a scale of 0 to Coach Mike Germaine, how good of a coach are you, Coach Steve?
The hard-hitting questions.
Well, my hair is definitely not as good.
Oh, good.
That's one. His hair.
Yeah, he's got solid hair.
I'll take that.
I don't know. I mean, he's been doing it forever, man. I think he's on year. This will be
18 maybe? Yeah.
18.
All consistent for the most part?
Yeah, he's
he
been here since it would have been 2007. Fall of 2007, I think was when he started.
Did he inspire you to be a coach? What was the deal?
Kind of, yeah. I always thought I understood the game mentally, but I couldn't translate that well. So I don't know. I like the X's and O's, like the chess game side of things, and he's a defensive guy. So being able to have him tell me how he'd defend my stuff has been nice.
From the other side?
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, that's actually really cool that you mentioned that because that's kind of what I wanted to start with your coaching history. Talk to me about how long you've been coaching and maybe dive more into why you wanted to start coaching and again even if you want to talk about how your dad kind of helped you with that stuff as you kind of just mentioned. But yeah, how long have you been coaching, Coach Steve?
So I came in here in 2019. So when Coach P got here, the first year with him, I actually came in before him with Coach Doherty, but then he left and Coach P came. So that was my first real season was 2019 with him, and I was coaching quarterbacks at the time. And then just kind of the natural progression for that is to do a little bit more. So then I got into special teams for a year and then really got into the pass game side of things and then kind of ultimately where I am now. So
Yeah, I mean, that's cool to hear. And you said you started out coaching quarterbacks, and I know as of now you have a much bigger role than just being a quarterbacks coach. You're the offensive coordinator. I want to talk to you about how being the quarterback coach kind of helped you understand offenses more, and maybe did you learn more about the game while coaching quarterbacks, and what's like a big takeaway you took from doing that kind of helped you this year?
Yeah, definitely. So that's one of the unique spots where you really have to know what's going on at every position, right? So like, a receivers coach or a line coach, they're a little bit more limited to like, this is the only stuff I have to focus on. But when you're a quarterback, you have to know what the line's supposed to do, what the receiver's supposed to do, what the running backs are doing, what the defense is doing. So it makes you see stuff from a different perspective, because they really have to manage a lot more than, hey, go hit this hole or go catch this pass. They need to make sure we're in the right looks, right protections, checking everything the right way. So it kind of
even at the high school level, huh?
Yeah, like
that's crazy.
I'm sure you were similar. Like when I started coaching, I thought I knew football, and like not even close. Like you don't know what you don't know until you really get into it.
Yeah.
Well, it's a different perspective because all you know is playing it, right? Like maybe we'll talk a little bit. We get to give us a little of your high school career and your playing days, but you're playing it and then you're watching it on TV. And it's funny because I'd be interested to maybe another question would be like, how do you watch football now? Hold that thought. But and then when you do that, now you have to figure out, okay, how do I teach this to kids at a different level, maybe that I'm used to, or that some of them it's their first time ever playing tackle football, right?
Yeah. So you kind of take
Talking like
what?
Yeah, there you go. Right.
We're good.
Yeah, you're good.
You're gonna bleep that out. Or
I accidentally turned down your mic, Coach Steve. You may go.
You muted.
The only time. Yeah. What are you gonna do? It's his show.
So
name's on the thing.
It's. What were you asking?
Just so your the progression when you were playing it, how do you kind of translate that into like coaching, high school kids
it's
watching
really
it, pros?
Different when you're playing. I feel like you react, right? You take the coaching points. If you see this, then do this. If X, then Y, kind of stuff.
Yep.
But coaching, you control that. So it's if you do this, then do this. If you see this, then do that. So it's how you interpret it's completely different now. Like I can't watch football for fun anymore because it's like, oh, the defense is too high. Are they actually too high? Are they rolling? What are they covering? Are they hiding stuff? So you get into that aspect of it, and you really can't just watch for fun. I'm sure you're the same way. You really look into why teams are doing certain things, what's their tendencies, can you call like what they're going to do. And it's even to a point where you get to, especially the Patriots the past couple of years, you get to the point where you're almost telegraphing exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
And
I'm even watching like warm-ups. Like, oh, do you see them doing that in warm-ups? Like, what should I do? Should we do that?
Right. Like,
so it's like one of those deals.
Is that a bluff?
Yeah.
Are they actually doing that? Are they showing that intentionally? Because, we intentionally show certain things to certain people.
Don't tell anyone.
Without getting into that. But
don't tell anyone.
You have to be very deliberate about that.
Yeah, so. I mean, that's interesting. And I think it's cool how I've even talked to, people. I mean, it's on a much, less important scale. But even when I talked to Shane last week, he tells me at safety, some of the stuff he's seen while watching film that receivers do, and analyzing film. I guess kind of talking about it. Yep. And obviously, as we talked about, you were an alum here, and now that you came to Feehan, I want to talk. Is there any particular reason why you chose to come to Feehan to coach?
Not really. Honestly, it was just kind of the natural thing to do, I guess. Yeah. So it's tough with work, obviously. So I finally got to a time in my life where I was able to do it. I had time to do it, and my dad helped me out with that too, and kind of stuck my name in the door, so to speak. So yeah.
That's
worked out. I had a little cup of coffee with North Attleboro Pop Warner a while back, but that was
did you really?
Like not even a season. That was like probably 22.
Maybe you clashed heads with Coach Walsh out there at one point.
Oh,
didn't even know it.
Let's bring in Coach Walsh.
I wish we could do that. Yeah, carrying a briefcase or something.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. But so those are kind of like your early years of coaching, and I remember when I was a freshman. I remember seeing you work with Aiden Crump, Nico, and I think that was I always thought you were a pretty. I mean, everybody said, "Oh, Coach Steve's a great quarterback coach." But this year, I mean, as we all know, you took on a much bigger role, and you're now the offensive coordinator. Last year, Coach Brooks was the offensive coordinator, and we had a pretty heavy run game, which everyone knew. But this year, a lot of people were questioning with such a big graduating senior class, and Nick Yann's leaving, how the run game would shift, and a lot of people kind of speculated that we would go into a passing game, which we did for a big. We took on the passing game, obviously a lot heavier than we did in the year before. So I want to talk to you. What was the jump like from being quarterback coach and being the director of the pass game to being the offensive coordinator this year?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like everyone thought it was going to be an air raid, let it rip kind of offense, and I'm really not like that. I really do think it's as close to 50-50 as possible, and I do a lot of self-scouting in that regard to make sure we're kind of right around 50-50. But obviously, game plans change the second the game starts.
Oh, yeah.
So you kind of got to figure out where you're at. Like, we weren't really running the ball well until Cardinal Spellman. That was really turned that, turn that corner. But I don't know. My philosophy is just whatever we're doing good, keep doing that.
Yeah.
Keep innovating, keep being different. Like, I really don't like tendencies at all. I don't want people to see it. If we line up with a back weak side, we always do this, or if we line up with a fullback, we're always doing this. So I really try to eliminate all that. Like, I remember Concord Carlisle, we found that scouting report, and they called out something that I was not good at. They said if we had our back stacked to the two receiver side, we always ran a sweep, and they were right. It was a look we did like 4 times.
Yeah.
So first play of that game, I lined up exactly like that and went the other way, just to prove a point.
Did it work?
No.
Oh.
No. We just ran inside zone. But hey, so.
What a win. What a win.
Mind tricks.
Yeah, I mean, do you ever feel, or I mean, let me ask, what was the most challenging part of switching over from taking on such a big role, or did you have it all in the bag?
Good question.
The challenging stuff's always boils down to when your plan doesn't work, adjusting that plan,
on the spot.
Yeah, exactly. And the line was a big what if for us last year because we graduated all 5 guys, so we had to replace everyone on the line, and then really getting into our blocking schemes are completely different. We went from predominantly a power offense to more of a gap scheme offense, and that changes things. There's a huge learning curve there, but that was probably the biggest jump, is getting way more involved in the line and the run and all that, where I was just with the receivers and the quarterbacks before.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just curious because, coincidentally enough, the same year that we had to graduate almost our entire line, of course, that's also the year you became offensive coordinator, so you kind of had to build our line from scratch. What do you look for when you were kind of putting our line together? What kind of jobs do you think were the most important, and just areas like that?
I mean, the biggest thing I look for is, it sounds so cliche, but effort.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you're going to go out there and smash your head into a wall for me, absolutely you're going to play football. And you got to be quick. I'm really not let me get a big, heavy lineman and stick him in the way. The game's not really like that anymore. So you got to be able to move, got to be able to go laterally. That's a huge aspect of it, going left and right, not just forward. So it's more of, I don't know, you're really not sticking big bodies out there. Plus, for some reason, we can't get anyone over 300 pounds here.
Which is, I mean, if you look at
a couple of
the
those.
class last year, I mean, this year, our line was a lot smaller, but they did a great job. So
worked.
Yeah.
Worked through it.
Definitely worked.
Got to adjust.
Yeah.
I was going to say, so when we're in games and everything, so what are some of the things that you have to look for in terms of what's working, how you're making adjustments? I'm just trying to think because you're playing a video game at home and you have some time to play and call the plays and everything, and it's low stakes. But does it feel like what's your demeanor when you're out there and you're making these calls and you're adjusting, and what's going through your head? Because you have to do a number of things, play clock and situations and stuff. Also, what other coaches have you leaned on from the offensive side to kind of help you with that stuff?
Yep. So
and why is it Coach Walsh?
So as you alluded to earlier, you got to leave your emotions out of it, and that's why everyone thinks I'm dry and miserable.
No,
but you can't. Yeah.
Get out of here.
You can't get worked up over the little things, right? And because the second you start getting worked up, your thought process goes away. So you got to just stay calm. My main focus is the drive we're currently in, and I have Coach Reyna's upstairs. He's awesome. He's normally watching, coverages and then the linebackers. You're off's watching the line. Walshy's watching everyone. So I really lean on those guys for their input and say, hey, this kid's, our left tackle's getting beat, or sorry, Anglin. That wasn't a shot at Anglin. But it's,
only happened once.
It's those things. It's like, hey, they're too high, but they're really not. They're too high, but they're rolling after the snap. It's all that. So you get that information in, and then we'll talk between drives and change stuff. But really the key to it is to not get worked up.
Yeah.
That's the big part. So and that's what you can tell when you start out coaching people based on the other sideline when they start yelling and screaming at each other. I'd love to see that.
Feels good.
Frustrated.
Yeah,
so a lot of
can't
it's
do
like mental composure is what you're saying.
All mind games.
Yeah, that's
all mind games. Yeah,
that's really interesting. And we touched on the line a little bit. This year, I feel like a lot of our roles on offense definitely kind of shifted up. I want to talk to you about some of my friends, talking about Mortis, talking about Quinny, our receivers, because we had just weapons all around this year, which I just want to talk to you about. And even starting with the run game, I know we did switch the offense scheme up a little bit, but talk to me about something that you looked for in a running back this year, who was most prominently David Quinn. What's some things you saw this year that you appreciated?
Just the willingness to block, like in a lot of our 3-back stuff, and especially in the 2-back stuff, you can't be selfish. Like my offense doesn't work like that. You got to go block for the other guy because, say we're in split backs, and they know that kid doesn't block. He always gets the ball. It's a tell. So it just goes back to you're showing your hand. So David's awesome at that. We flipped him around. He was blocking for Warfanos at the end of the year, and you can't be better than blocking for someone. That's really where it stands. And he threw some nasty blocks for Mortis too to keep that little pipsqueak alive.
Oh yeah.
So that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, blocking is definitely a huge part of the game. I even know I was talking to Coach Walsh the other day, and about something about I had a question about like my personal stuff being like a receiver, and he was talking to me about one of the biggest things that he liked about Devin Ferreira was that Devin was so good at stock blocking that like Coach Walsh described it as like it seemed dumb not to put him out there for those schemes when you needed somebody to block. So yeah. I think stuff like that's really interesting.
That's a big thing I've taken from Walsh, especially is his perspective of we tell all the kids that why aren't I playing, it's do something so well that it's stupid not to have you out there. And Devin's a great testament to that. He didn't play a lick of offense the year before at all.
Yep.
And he became that guy that we could split out wide, then bring in tight and run block. And he understood the scheme well. And then all of a sudden he's ripping off touchdowns against North Attleboro, like having great games. So it's that like buying into your role and understanding that will come and being selfless. I don't think he complained one time about, hey, why are we not getting the ball, whatever. It's, all right, we're going to run the ball, go and rip that kid's head off.
Yeah. I've said this in previous episodes, but Devin to me is such an inspiring story because him, Jack Higgins, Jacob Ferreo, guys who, didn't really see the field in the way they thought they would this year, and it just like changed so much. And I just really kind of want to talk like, what did you think about those guys, the kind of energy they brought this year?
I'm glad they stuck with it. Like Devin, obviously, and Higgins, same thing. He wasn't really being talked about much, but he trusted the process, stayed with it, and all of a sudden I think every single catch he had was like over 50 yards.
And a touchdown. All he did was catch touchdowns.
That's it, Hollywood Higgins. And then Jacob too, Jacob was kind of lost in the shuffle at quarterback and then moved to receiver, and he understood spacing because he was a quarterback. And then he had a huge game against Archie's. He was always in the mix. In Marshfield, he had some big catches, big first downs. Like, to see those guys really buy in, trust it, and not give up, have those like highlight level games, that's the funnest part. That's the best. Yeah,
that's and again, I mean, I always use the word inspiring to say it because for people who thought about giving up and stuff like that, like the way those guys describe it, it's just crazy to think that they never gave up on that. But yeah, overall, we had a pretty good season. We went 8-2. We kind of hit a ceiling with Marshfield. But I want to talk to you. Do you have like a favorite like moment,
proudest moment?
Yeah, some of your favorite moments from like the past year.
Good question.
Oh, that was a bunch. Honestly, that North Attleboro game. like for what it's worth, with a completely new offense,
Yeah.
everyone brand new,
Yeah.
myself
First game
included,
you
everyone.
coaching. Yep.
I thought we actually played really good. There's like 3 plays that I really think changed that game. It's that opening touchdown. If we hit the double pass and then we don't have that one pick, it changes that entire game. That was huge. Spellman was awesome. That was really good to see us struggle, turn the corner, and then find a new identity where we really got more into the 2-back stuff to open up some other stuff. We got really deeper into the depth on the line where we were playing with 7 guys in a rotation by the end of the year. And then specifically Mortis against Marshfield was kind of a highlight moment for me, where I remember at halftime, I think it was the first time he had been down a lot. We went into halftime down by 17, and he was able to translate and say, this is what I'm seeing. I like these couple pass plays, and like he didn't get over emotional about the fact we were down by 17. It was like, let's figure out how to do this. And still, we had over 400 yards of offense that game for a sophomore.
Yeah.
Playing a team like that,
That's
insane.
And again, I'd love to talk about Mortis a lot more because what an underdog kind of story at the beginning of the season. I remember, as Nico graduated the year before, and Nico was in a big running offense because we had Jans and a lot of other components too. Obviously, there was a big question, the quarterback battle, and I know we had a lot of good quarterbacks. I know shout out Braden Nasani because he was definitely looking under Nico the year before. Some people were wondering, what would happen, and although the decision was ultimately Mortis, I want to talk about those early days back in the summer when what were you looking for in a quarterback, and just kind of breaking down like the skill sets of the QB room that we had, and that's pretty much my.
I mean, the biggest thing is how well you understand stuff. It's not if you can't throw a fade, we can still win games, right? Like we can work around a bad arm, but what we can't work around is a lack of understanding of basic concepts of football, right? And not that anyone didn't do that, but that's kind of where the difference became, was the composure, the ability to take what you're seeing and translate it into something to tell us, hey, this isn't working, this is working. And it's a lot different to say, hey, I got sacked, than it is to say, hey, I got sacked because, the 5 technique slanted into an unblocked. Like, it's a lot different to translate that in real time on the field than it is on film. Anyone can do that in film, but in real time to say what's not going right was ultimately why he impressed me so much. Throughout the entire year, it was, hey, I forget who it was, but there was one team that they showed us too high all week, and then they were rolling after the snap to a cover 3 look, and it was something we haven't really practiced because we didn't see them. And he translated that in real time and kind of changed the whole game plan after one drive. So being able to do that after you just got hit, you're tired coming off the field, is super impressive.
Yeah.
Especially for a kid that weighs 52 pounds.
Oh, yeah. No, Mortis.
Put on some weight.
Yeah. I know he needs to gain some weight.
But, yeah, Mortis definitely is, start eating a little bit more. But I do love Mortis because, I didn't even know much about him because I had spent, I spent a lot of time with Braden personally. Braden would always, he's always willing to help out, which I love about Braden. But something about Mortis, when I met him, he's just really humble, quiet kid, so you can tell something's going on out there. He's a smart kid when it comes to the game.
Don't just breeze over Braden either.
Oh, no, not at all. I definitely want to talk about Braden.
I can't say enough good things about him, too. He really did a good job between the two of them of pushing Mortis, staying in the mix, and then even just those two going over film together and stuff. He has such an eye for the game that you really can't, you can't just breeze over. And it's unfortunate to have 2 great guys like that. Yeah. Because it's just, what do you do with it? But he does understand, and he pushes Mortis, and they constantly battle, and they really just see the game in a complimentary way. Yeah, what I love about Braden is he's so just willing to work. I know
he lives right down the street from me, so I text Braden, and this happened literally last night. We went to a field, we were throwing a little bit, working on my hands or whatever, and I say, I was like, hey, can you help me work on
work, baby?
I don't want to give myself a self promo.
After I benched 250, we went down on the field.
Yeah.
But
how many balls you catch? How many balls you drop?
You always remember those ones.
Not,
Are you gonna blame the gloves?
I didn't even wear gloves.
Tough guy.
It was cold out, raining out. Probably didn't drop one. I don't know, countless balls.
He's like rating his hands, 10 and 10.
We'll fact check that.
Yeah, anybody who
Braden
knows me
can't lie to me.
Yeah, anybody who knows that knows that's not true. But what I love about Braden is even after I was like, thanks, man. I really appreciate you helping me get my hands better. And like Braden literally say, I don't know, it was like a movie or something. He goes, don't thank me yet. Thank me. I'm gonna get your hands better. Like we're not gonna stop until we get your hands better.
He's a leader.
He really is. He sends me all the time. He sends me scripts of drills that we're gonna work on. He organizes like a bunch of stuff to do.
Impressive.
And for unless I'm saying this now, but this isn't stuff people look at him every day and know. He really puts in the work, and he's selflessly caring about this entire team and just his role, what he can do.
He's the ultimate team guy.
Yeah. Which I love about Braden,
and especially that the scout team role is not an easy role. So he's running plays in practice that he sees 10 seconds before, and he's doing it well to give the defense a good look, and I can't say enough good things about him, honestly. I can't either. I know Braden's probably watching, so Braden, love you, man. He's a viewer.
Yeah, for sure.
One of thousands.
One of
tens.
Millions.
We'll see.
You have to cut all that out.
We'll see.
No,
Okay.
no, I can't do that. But yeah, that's kind of wrapping up on everything I have to talk about football. I mean, is there anything you specifically want to talk about, football wise this season?
What do you think? What do you see in the pro game, the college game, pro game? Do you pull stuff from that?
A lot of stuff.
Do you get any like Twitter DMs from great defensive coaches that say, "Hey, let's run this"?
Yeah, no. You've been very helpful with that. The whole. I don't know if you know this, but Coach O'Brien and I spent all last season dissecting the Tyreek Hill motions.
So we're all doing self plugs today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You gotta
We
show it
got
off.
brands to take care of.
All right.
Yeah, especially having a D guy throw stuff at me. We spend a ton of time talking about alignment and what certain things mean. Is the receiver on the line or off the line? Why is that
I would
different?
play this. Yep.
Yeah, what do you widen the field? Are you closing that side off and then opening it back again? There's so much that goes into it, and especially getting it from your end of, this really screws us up. I'll take all of those nuggets. Everything that's hard to defend. I remember you were talking about that outside motion and then sticking a tight end in there. It completely changes how you look at stuff. And then we got into a lot of that with the shifting towards the end of the year of going from 2x2 to 3x1 back to 2x2 on the snap. That's when you're throwing those extra adjustments in. I don't think I would have ever did that if you didn't slide into my DMs.
Happy to help out.
Yeah.
And it's funny too because you obviously you hear it in sports talk and stuff like that, and everyone's like, well, the pro game trickles down or the college or high school game trickle up, and athletes are adjusting based on that. But I think a lot of it is it's just so smart because I think kids are just so, even at the high school level, they're just so athletic now and they understand body control and how to make things happen. Some of it's like this 7-on-7 world they're living into, but multi-sport athletes that kind of understand some of that stuff. But if you can make sense of that at the high school level, it's an advantage. And I think for our team, especially our kids in our school, that's a huge advantage for us.
And it's definitely, it's that constant battle of how do you evolve this, right? Because shame on us if we run the same offense all the way through the season, right? You have to evolve it and be different and evolve off what you did to play that mind game, right? So it's that constant look to, what are these guys doing? You send me plays all the time. Braden sends me plays all the time. And it's hey, what do you think about this? And whether or not we use that exact play, but there's always themes that carry over, right? Let's use this little theme here to wrinkle into our offense, to just give it a different look.
Yeah.
Coach Steve's always in the lab.
Always
in the lab.
Oh yeah, and I remember even showing up to some of those practices after I was injured, and I would help be like the iPad guy and just looking at some of the things. I wanted to talk to you about like how do you what's your approach? Because every time the iPad would usually have the themes of the other teams' offenses and defenses and stuff like that. How do you take to approach setting up other teams' offenses and stuff to prepare our like what kind of a mindset do you take into preparation for the games, not just the games themselves?
So we break it down so the line guys handle the blitzes, Walsh handles the coverage, and then Coach Yuroff and I will talk about bigger picture stuff. And it's a lot different where the defense has to practice against specific plays. We're practicing against a lot of what ifs.
Yeah.
Right. If we think they're going to align to us this way, we think they'll do this to motion, and it's really just going back to their historically what they've done. But at the same time, you gamble that of what if they don't do that, right? So it's you got to, without overwhelming the scout team too. It's hey, if we come out 2x2, I want you guys to do a cover 2. If we come out in trips, I want you guys to do man under or whatever it is. So we kind of speculate, and I'm a big I don't want to overanalyze things. So we talk every Sunday, me and the offensive guys, and we'll just super high level of, hey, we think they'll do this, this, and this. We'll over-practice stuff. We'll draw up more blitzes than they did. We'll try to get creative, and we try to rep a lot of different coverages that we think we might see because, it's a lot different on our side than it is practicing against, hey, this is how they run power.
Yeah.
This is how they run.
Shout out the scout team, too.
Exactly.
You just mentioned.
Yep.
Yeah. I have love for them.
No, yeah. I mean, a lot of guys, even looking at people like, Bednarik, all those guys, so many, parts you don't really see in the games, but guys who put in so
and guys
much
get
work.
shots. I mean, guys get shots. They'll continue to get shots. That'll be how football always is. You got to show something. Yeah, go ahead.
That's where it starts is scout team. Like, every year, like we were talking about personnel last night, right? And what we think we're going to get now is like someone always surprises you. Like you roll up to camp, you're like, who's that guy? It always happens.
It's
right?
Michael Judge.
No, it's Max Sertus.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There you go.
Yeah.
Let's do it, baby.
It's Ryan Weinrack. Just guys that really make
Winey.
the team. Yeah.
Weinrack's good. A little bit of a talker, I've heard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Weinrack, Weinrack, I don't even think he's watching, but he knows. He asks some dumb questions. I love Weinrack, but Weinrack, you ask some dumb questions.
It was the Arlington Catholic game. I might get in trouble for this, but whatever.
Maybe with
it was the Arlington
it's out of
Catholic
love.
game. Trainer Jenna walked off the bus, and she says something like, "Oh my God, I just had to sit next to Weinrack the entire time. He did not stop talking."
That's I tell
yeah.
Weinrack. I love Weinrack, but I remember one time I'm on the field throwback to
Weinrack's watching at home like, really?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
No, she said it right to him. That should not be a surprise.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
That should be a
Weinrack's
surprise.
a tough kid, and he dishes it out the same he can take. But I'm on the field, I have my cane. Throwback to that one day, I had the cane out, and I walk over to Weinrack, and I'm just looking at the field, and I just hear, Sertus, so how big is your truck? And I'm like, what do you mean? How big is my truck? How big is it? I'm like, I don't know how you want me to answer that question. He's like, is it small? And I was like, or what, medium or large? I don't know. And then everyone starts, ganging up on Weinrack, but he can hold an argument, which is something I love about Weinrack. So
yeah, he's feisty.
Yeah,
Can he need help moving?
I don't know.
Into his dorm, or
I don't
what's
know.
going on?
How big's your truck? What's the GVW?
It's really small. It's a 2017 Toyota Tacoma, and it's got jumpers. It's the kind with the doors that
The bags.
open.
That was my first truck.
Really?
Good.
Yeah, I had a Tacoma.
2017?
No, 20.
Now he's got that beauty out
2009.
there.
Oh yeah.
It was that's the work.
What do you think of the new complex?
Yeah.
I like it. I'm curious.
Talking to the mic.
I like it. I'm still curious to see what they do with the stands because I think they've gone back and forth with a lot of that at first. How they were going to do, the double-sided stuff, but it looks like they're starting to do dugouts and
It's going to be beautiful.
I haven't even seen the turf yet because they got all those bags up there. From here is really
right
where,
there.
yeah. Oh no, I can see it now, Coach. Thanks though. Yeah. No. It's green.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna be cool.
I don't know do people like turf baseball fields?
No, I'm not the guy to ask.
I mean, Shane, when we
Shane,
talked to him
yeah,
last week,
Sliding was different, right?
right? Yeah. Oh, you did your homework.
Wow.
He-
I watch. I'm a viewer.
Slide a
Wow.
little, one of hundreds and thousands.
Yeah.
He said slide a little earlier, but he also said they're playing more on turf anyways, like other fields staying and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
becoming a little bit more like just same thing as football. You know, we used to play on grass, but now it's all turf. So
Yep.
it'll just
Well, that's kind of
know.
going back.
going back. Do you play on grass?
I played on grass. Yeah.
I loved grass. Grass was fun.
Grass
And you
is
could
cool.
feel the fall. It felt like fall, even more so too, because you get the leaves and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and the dead grass coming out.
Yeah, it's a cool
Yeah.
aspect of the practice field too. You get best of both worlds.
What were some of your memories from high school football?
The glory days.
Glory days. I remember being cold.
Yeah.
I feel like last year was lucky to not have a cold game, but I remember like we used to practice on the soccer fields if this field
Up
was
top?
frozen. Yeah, no, over here.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that was in the grass, and Coach O'Boy would not. He's like, oh, it's only for games. So we have to practice over there. And
Don't want to wear down the turf.
yeah, I don't want to wear down the game surface.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that, and then obviously we had a Super Bowl run in there and stuff. So but I just remember being cold. That's the biggest take. I remember freezing.
Yeah, no, I love the new turf. I think it's cool because I've always known turf, so I didn't really have a preference over grass or turf field. But I think it's cool now they got the new scoreboard up there, and Feehan's getting some upgrades. So I just need a new announcing booth now. If you're listening, Mr. Sullivan, so I can
See,
finally-
turfs. I'm not anti-turf, but I'm a lacrosse guy too, and playing lacrosse on grass.
Better?
Changes. So if you're shooting and you have a bounce shot, you can't telegraph where the bounce is going to go because all the little ripples in the dirt, and so it completely changes the game. Where if you're on turf, you kind of know where the bounce is going. It's easier for the goalie, but it's also easier for the shooter to place shots. So that's kind of a weird little
Little
nugget.
wrinkle.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And ground balls too. That's a huge difference.
No
different
lacrosse guys here, so you're not.
We could
No.
try to snag Raina. I know
Yeah.
Raina's a big
Yeah.
lacrosse guy.
Played with him.
Oh,
Played
did
with
you?
him?
Yeah, he graduated a year after I did.
Got any good Rana stories? Appropriate for the podcast.
That's actually
No, none appropriate for the
Okay.
podcast.
Oh, okay.
Tell you offline.
He's a teacher here.
Yeah, tell you offline.
All right, that's but that's really interesting. I think it's cool how different environments like that can affect the game, and I think there's just so much. I also want to go back to we're talking about some of the things on the college level for football. I'm just curious. Do you guys have any favorite college athletes football wise, or I don't really know any other college athletes besides like basketball.
Oh, athletes are tough. I'm big on the running back from South Dakota.
Oh yeah, the Jackrabbits,
The
right?
Jackrabbits.
I know
yeah,
some of
what's
that. Some of those lower divisions are fun, right?
I
Because
like
they-
watching those games a lot
yeah.
more.
Yeah.
I really.
What do you think the whole NIL stuff and the college football playoff and the commercialization and the conferences? Like, what's your deal?
I like the expanded playoff.
Oh, yeah.
A lot. There was someone put a graphic out the other day of like all these teams would have made it if they did the 12-team playoff. Like Navy was in there.
Yeah,
That's
wow.
awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's
Home
awesome.
games too.
Yeah.
First round will be home games
Yep.
on campus.
So I really like that. I'm kind of indifferent, honestly. I don't really spend a ton of time watching that much college football anymore, unfortunately. But I don't like to see the whole, hey, I'll come to your school for $2 million on
Yeah.
a truck. It's
Yeah.
kind of different.
That is
Like,
kind of crazy.
When we were younger, it was like, oh, let me go play at Oregon because they have cool uniforms. Like
Yeah.
that's the allure of college football to me.
Yeah, I was like, Isaiah Davis is the other running back you're
Isaiah
talking
Davis,
about.
yeah.
But no, I think that's true. I mean, now that social media is a lot more prevalent too, you see these guys posting a lot about their college commitments and posting a lot of ridiculous things about their college commitments.
No one here.
Feehan? No. But I think it's interesting because, it just kind of the whole game changes. Like now, I guess college athletes, I guess the more competitive they're getting in the sport, I guess it becomes more of like a money thing. How much they want deals, stuff like that. I even follow some receiver that's going to Bama. He the second Saban retired, he uncommits, and then he he's like I'm not doing that, and then he recommitted. Because I don't think he had a better offer, but he recommitted, and then he was like, I'm loyal. I love Alabama. It's like, well, do you?
I love the paycheck.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's even you're gonna notice. I think the pendulum's gonna swing back the other way because
Yeah.
it's getting tougher and tougher to find coaches now too. You don't really see a lot of the NFL to college because they don't want to deal with recruiting anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's just, how much can you pay me?
Yeah.
You know, I think it has to swing back the other way at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly didn't even like know that or think about that. Just like why NFL coaches who, especially some that are looking for jobs, like wouldn't go back down to like the college level. It's not really that much of a step.
They talked about that with Belichick. Like, oh, would he go get a college job? Do you really see Bill sitting in some kid's living room saying, like, oh, come play college football?
We'd love to have you.
Yeah.
You're a great addition to the
Not
team.
going to happen. He doesn't want to do that. He wants to coach football.
Yeah.
But there's so much. That's the interesting part now about college is there's so much other stuff other than football that they have to worry about now.
Yeah.
You know, with all the social media and NIL and all that, it's way more than, it's almost a harder job probably than NFL where you're just.
Well, you're like a politician basically. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like if you're watching the BC stuff locally here, Halfley leaving, going to the Packers, and then Bill O'Brien moving over from the Patriots over there. It's the same type of thing. It's like now you're becoming, and you're a politician, you're the mayor of the school or the program, and you're doing a lot more than coaching. That's one of the reasons Halfley left.
I think a lot. I mean, I don't really. It's not like again, kind of like you, Coach. I don't really watch college football that much, but like something that I'm kind of just like about is see a lot of college. I said this about college athletes, but a lot of like college coaches too, or not a lot, but there's a good select few who like coach first. Yeah, I look at like Coach Prime. He's one of the greatest NFL like players of all time.
I want that gold headset. I have one request.
I think we can.
Should we,
Coach Pinnabel? Let's make it happen.
I think
he's a watcher.
Yeah, the earnings for this episode will maybe go to getting you a gold
maybe
headset.
a can of gold spray paint.
You could do that.
But
yeah, I mean, he's got all the bling, all the the cowboy hat, the Segway, and you wonder,
He's playing the game too, though. It's all.
Oh no, yeah,
That's all recruiting.
It's entertainment.
Colorado also had like a tough schedule, and
they'll continue to have a tough schedule. Yeah.
So, but I think was it Florida that had the toughest schedule this year? I think like the toughest ranked schedule.
I don't know. This last year?
I don't know.
No.
I had no clue.
We'll look deep into that.
Yeah.
But all right. So we talked about football for the past 40 so minutes. Coach Steve, I want to talk kind of dive into your personal life.
Great.
So I wanted to start with a congratulations.
Everyone can stop listening right now.
I wanted to start with a congratulations. You're recently married.
Kinda.
Kind of.
Oh, not recent. It was September.
Kind of recent.
Yeah,
Okay.
But yeah, you were married this past fall, if that's
Correct.
correct. Yeah.
That is correct.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
First of all, I want to talk. What was that experience like? Being a married man now.
Got married, man.
So was that the second happiest moment of your life? First being a guest on the Sir Truth podcast. We're gonna skip
it's like
over.
a 1A, 1B.
Okay, all right. I like that answer.
It's good, great.
It's up there.
And then I kind of want to dive into something else that I know you're very passionate about is cooking, Coach Steve.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is where it really starts,
Okay,
right?
see, I haven't seen a smile like that probably since we've won a game back in the fall.
This is where it starts.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about cooking. If you don't know, Coach Steve is a pretty gnarly cook. I wanted you have some specialty. You're a barbecue guy, I know, stuff like that.
Yeah, I've kind of gotten away from barbecue from a time perspective.
Oh.
I find I don't have the time to sit there for 12 hours and cook anymore, but we're still dialing it up.
What are you cooking up these days?
Do you have like a smoker? What do you do?
Yeah, we have a smoker, a stick burner, so the old side burner, none of that Traeger
Is it
stuff.
charcoal? What is it?
No, it's straight wood.
Oh, okay.
Yep, we do it legit Texas style, oak wood, nothing crazy. Salt, pepper, that's it.
What are some of your favorite dishes to make, recipes?
Birria tacos are very, very popular.
Oh yeah, you've been talking about those.
Those are good.
Yeah.
We've been cooking a ton of burgers too. Burgers are easy, they're quick. Wrap them up in a little wrapper, make it look like you're at a diner.
I like that.
Yeah. It's all presentation.
The Coach Steve Instagram story is pretty heavy on the presentation of the food.
All presentation.
Yeah.
That's all. Anyone can cook, but you gotta make it look good.
And
Then why fried rice?
I just like fried rice. It's like I like pork fried rice.
He's been all over me
I
for a
am
year
I'm
with
big
fried
into
rice.
that. That's good.
For those
really good.
For those wondering, earlier in the season, I found out Coach P was or Coach Steve was an avid cook. I said, Coach, what when you cook? He goes, he was like, oh, dude, I make a great I don't know. I don't know
That's
why you
your
sound-
me impression?
It's pretty good.
pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty.
You gotta work on that.
Dude, I don't know. I don't really. I don't really do a lot. I could do hibachi for you if you want. Oh, really? It was like
That's
I was
like a Jersey, like you're
like
way
Pesci or
yeah,
something.
You're way wrong.
Anyway, no, you're just
Good job.
jealous.
That was good.
Yeah,
Good
you're just
jealous.
upset. That was good.
So rice is part of the specialty, or
We
is
can
that
do
what
rice.
you like?
We can do hibachi.
Yeah, I was like down to like hibachi, and I told him, oh, dude, I love pork fried rice, and he goes, dude, I make a mean pork fried rice.
We'll do the onion volcano. We'll do it. Nice.
Oh, everything?
Yeah, we'll do it good.
Are you gonna do
we'll
like
get you over.
like flip like broccoli into my mouth or
Yeah,
something?
we can do that.
All right.
We can do that.
That sounds awesome. So I'm just reading the kind of straight from the list here. I have recipe favorites. I also have his precious motorcycle. If
Yeah.
you want to talk about that, I know you're a motorcycle guy. You got any?
Yeah. It took it out 2 days ago. It was nice. Take advantage of the weather, but
What do you drive?
I'm a road glide, big Harley road glide guy. No, honestly, it's like my happy place. There's actually a study done, not to really nerd out here, but I figured it out. People that do stuff like that, like
Ride a Harley?
like motorcycles,
Oh, okay.
rock climbing, like all stuff you have to like really focus on.
Mm-hmm.
It soothes a hyperactive mind. So when you have a lot of stuff going on, you can go there and you have to focus, or you die.
Okay, I like that. So
Yeah, it's good. It's fun.
it's cool to have like. Would you consider it a hobby or just kind of something that you can do to just?
No, definitely a hobby because I build them,
Right.
fix it, like do all.
I didn't know that. You build them?
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, build bikes. So it's I've always been around engines of some sort.
Did you get that from your dad?
No.
Riding the sidecar while he is
No, I'm trying to get him to get
putting
one.
around.
Will you get me
I
a
could
sidecar?
I could see that.
Oh God,
That would be good.
Please.
next leap
Film
year
the-
special.
Film the next episode
Next leap
that
year
way.
special.
Can make
will
a
be a
sidecar.
sidecar.
We'll do our own series where I interview you while we're driving. I'll get helmets with a mic in it, and then I'll be in like the sidecar.
Like comedians and coffee. Have you seen
Yeah,
that?
Jerry
Yes.
Seinfeld.
Yeah, we can do that.
I actually love that show. I won't lie. That show is pretty cool.
Did that get canceled?
I don't know
I
why.
don't know. I feel like I haven't
No,
seen
not
that in a
like
while.
not canceled in a bad way.
No,
you're
yeah,
saying,
just
right?
like-
Yeah,
Oh,
it just doesn't
like
run
run
anymore.
I don't know.
course.
But
Yeah, probably lost.
I
yeah.
Yeah.
that show. I love that show. I was binging
Maybe
that show.
first day of you know how like the players show up in their their fancy rides or hot air balloon or something. First day of training camp, you and
Me-
Mr.
Axel.
Truth
You showing up in that.
pulling
Do
up.
I'll do that. You can pick me up on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
I can like
I think
grab
that
your
would-
shoulders on the back.
I think that would work.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome. We could do, instead of comedians in cars getting coffee, what would we call it?
Ah,
A couple of dudes.
a couple of
Bros
being
on
dudes.
bikes getting
Bros being dudes.
bros being dudes
Talking football.
on a motorcycle.
Working title.
We'll shop it. We'll workshop it.
Yeah,
we're
we can.
gonna have to.
We'll have to.
Get
We'll
our
put that
best
in the
people
in
on
the,
it.
pro, in the
Yeah.
projects. But yeah. I also want to. You said you're around engines a lot. What is that because of your line of work or?
Yeah. So I've been in the construction adjacent field for a while. I was a fleet manager for a while. So managed a team of mechanics that fix stuff. I was a mechanic myself for a while, and now I sell heavy equipment.
Oh, wow.
So I've always been kind of around that stuff. Like I'm a big advocate for trades, and there's a lot of good careers out there for people that want to just go into the trades.
Yeah.
So
I mean, maybe talk about that off camera because I do find that stuff pretty interesting.
yeah.
But we talked about a lot today. I think we're kind of reaching an end point. I wanted once again I wanted to thank you, Coach Steve, for coming on. This has been.
Max, thank you.
Thank you.
you.
You're
All right,
welcome.
thank you.
We got some playoffs too. I think
yeah,
the girls.
Yeah,
hoops.
girls hoops is coming up.
Friday.
Girls hockey is tonight.
Yeah.
We got a lot of things coming up. But yeah, you'll find that a lot of that on the Instagram. Hopefully you liked this episode. You should have because this has probably been one of my favorites yet. So once again, thank you, Coach Steve. Thank you, Coach Marty, for coming
Thanks,
on.
fellas.
This has been episode 9 of the Sir Truth podcast. I'm Max Sir Truth signing off. Goodbye.